Yo, YBBK here. In this video, I'll be taking a look at Akko's attempt at a more premium board, the SPR67. This board features a 65% layout, full CNC aluminum case, FlexCut hot swap PCB, and a new spring mounted system. All this comes in at 200 USD, making it the most expensive kit Akko sells. Before the unboxing, a quick word from our sponsor, PCBWay. Your one-stop shop for all DIY tech projects is PCBWay. They provide sophisticated PCB prototyping, production, assembly, and populating. Additionally, they offer injection molding, sheet metal fabrication, CNC machining, and 3D printing. Numerous sub-options are available under each of these services, allowing you to customize the criteria to your needs. The range of materials, finishes, and degree of precision available for CNC machining are just a few examples. The pricing is competitive, and their website and purchase process are both very user-friendly. The description will include a link to their website if you're curious to learn more. Back to the video. Getting to unboxing, it's obvious that the packaging is more premium than usual. Opening the box, you're greeted with a user's manual. Underneath is a PCB. This time, it features FlexCuts, which is a first from Akko. These are designed to allow for a softer typing feel, but also help sound escape, resulting in a more bland, muted sound. I'll get more into that later, but for now, the sockets. They're from CIY and self-facing, meaning no cherry profile interference. Screw and stabilizers are supported, however, the cutouts on the plate restricted to certain brands only. A few that I've tested and fit are the ones from Akko, C3 Equals, KBD Fans, and TX Stabs. In this build, I was able to use Durock V2s, but the fit was extremely tight and I wouldn't really recommend it. Aside from that, there's no QMK via support, but Akko's own software is available. Below the PCB is a set of dense foams, including case foam, PE foam, plate foam, and a mylar sheet to protect the PCB from the metallic case. As for the plate options, included are FR4 and palm. Hiding underneath is the case itself, which I'll get back to in a moment. Below is a plastic coiled USB-C cable, plate mounted stabilizers, keycap and switch puller, and a package of miscellaneous parts containing a variety of springs varying in weight, case feet, rubber gaskets, screws and nubs, and finally a daughter board. Back to the case, its general design is very similar to the Mod 005. However, the main differences are the golden aluminum back weight, golden middle piece, and pearlescent anodization, giving the board a more elegant look. Personally, the engraving on the weight isn't really for me, but it's cool to see in the place of the usual sticker. Before moving any further, I first install the 4 rubber feet. After that, removing 6 screws allows a closer look at the inside. The middle piece is really thin, so just be careful not to bend it. There are no obvious machining marks or blemishes. Onto the build, I start off by wire balancing and lubing the included plate mounted stabilizers. As for the switches, I'll be using some Gateron ink blacks that I had laying around. These are filmed and lubed with 205 grade 0. For this build, I'll be going with the FR4 plate, which to throw the switches and stabilizers onto. I then attached everything to the PCB, which was quite an annoying process as the switches kept popping out due to a loose fit. However, I did manage to get everything seated in the end. For the bottom case, you're supposed to install 2 posts that help keep the PCB in place once everything is put together. However, after trying for 10 minutes, I couldn't seem to get the screws in. I later asked Akko about this, and they mentioned how this is an issue on the prototype units, and they have since fixed the issue. They did send me replacements, but those came in after filming, so for the video, I won't be using them. If you do encounter this issue though, just reach out to customer support and they'll be more than happy to send you new screws. With that addressed, I screw in the daughter board and install the mylar sheet. For the first build, I'll be using the 120 gram springs. To install, just simply push them into the 5 raised nubs and insert the provided rubber nubs on top. With that done, I fit the top case with the provided rubber gaskets. Reassembling everything, it's time for keycaps. I went with GMK German clones, which I double shot ABS and cherry profile. Note that this set does not clone any novelties. Like the other clone sets I use, they are decent for the price. The colors are vibrant and the legends are sharp. Slapping them onto the board, here's a no foam sound test. For the next test, I'll try the 170 gram springs. And finally, for the last test, I installed the 230 gram strings. So after going through all three weights, I found that the 120 gram strings are just way too light, resulting in too much bounce. Maybe if I was using lighter switches, it would be plausible, but in this case, it's just an unpleasant experience. I found the 170 gram strings to be a nice middle ground, with enough support but not too stiff. In terms of sound between the three weights, I didn't notice any obvious difference, maybe the slightest increase in pitch as the springs get heavier, but other than that, I wouldn't worry about them affecting sound. On the note of sound, I thought the board in general would sound much more muted due to the flex huts and mounting style, but was surprised that there was actually some character. No foams, it's on the higher pitched end, and the spacebar is quite defined. I'm a fan of this, but really wish they removed the flex huts for a more full sound. Alright, so with a no foams baseline with all the spring weights, I begin to rebuild the board. I changed back to the 170 gram springs and disassembled the board to replace the plate mounted stabilizers. As much as I tried wire balancing them, they're still rattly and I was unsatisfied with the result. I'll be replacing them with TX stabs. I'll be replacing them with Durock V2s. These have already been tuned, being wire balanced, looped, and Holy modded, so I simply screw them in. With that done, I add the provided plate foam before popping the plate back on. However, I then realized a fitment issue with Durock stabs and Akko plates. Luckily, with some pressure, I was able to force them into place. With that done, I taped out the PCB with emphasis on the flex huts to help the board sound more full. Once done, I added the case foam and reassembled everything. Here's a sound test. The foams and tape on in this configuration definitely lowered the pitch of the board and made it fuller. I'm honestly kind of surprised how marbly it sounds even without the PE foam. Another config I wanted to try was with Akko's new cream yellow switches. These are linears featuring a PC top, long palm stem, nylon bottom, and 58 gram long springs. I removed the case foam, which combined with the long stem switches should create a higher pitch while still sounding full. Overall, the SPR67 in my opinion, it's a decent board. The sound profile can be easily tweaked and it's quite diverse. Its build quality is above average Akko boards and is solid all around. But for 200 USD, I honestly expected more. Competition like the QK65 or Zoom 65 for a similar price feature nicer materials like a stainless steel weight, glass back, way more color and finish options, QMK support, better accessories, and subjectively more aesthetic. However, Akko is constantly maintaining stock, while the Zoom and QK are only available through group buys. One thing I feel that can be removed are the PCB flex sets. Considering that it's already 1.2mm thick and there's already cuts on the plate, I personally feel that the PCB flex sets are not worth sacrificing sound for a softer feel. Besides, that's what the springs are for. This brings me on to my next point. As for the spring mounting system, I think it's an interesting idea and comparable to gasket mounting. However, I can't really see the practical use for most people regarding the absurd amount of bounce offered with the lighter springs. It feels more like a gimmick. In addition, the way the springs are positioned, feel and sound is marginally uneven in different areas across the board. Then again, gasket mount also has a similar issue where the edges of the board usually sound more muted. In the end, you can't go wrong with this board, it is solid all around, but the price is considerably steep for what you're getting. I suggest you compare with other options on the market first before purchasing. Anyways, if this video helped you or you enjoyed it, consider leaving a like and subscribing, it really helps the channel out.